Okay. So, first of all, a quick shout out here to Denise because she made us a list of actual topics to talk about. So instead of just winging it, we have probably close to a year's worth of topics, Denise.
I think I did 25 or 30. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. I just did
Yeah,
like a nice.
we've got topics for a year.
We're prepared.
I know, right? Look at this. New year, new us.
Exactly. And so we don't have to be winging, what do we want to talk about? We want to talk about this? No, let's talk about, no, we got actual topics. So today's topic is leaving the industry better than we found it. And this has been my personal mantra, all right? That all of my decisions really always come down. If I'm not on the fence about something, is what I'm doing going to make the industry better? All right. So that can qualify between, is this like an ego trip for me, or am I actually doing something? And that has been like my guiding light. Right. When I first started in the industry, I had some really great people, people that took time to help me be better. Okay. So, and I would like to acknowledge them first. All right. So the first is Sue Zecco, right? When I was a brand new groomer going to trade shows, and Sue's already an icon, by the way. Okay. When I took a couple of classes, I had a question, and during a very busy trade show, Hershey to be more specific, and she's racing to her next class, I had said, I asked her a question, and she's like, keep up with me, and asked me while I get to the next classroom. She's been gracious, no matter how many times I stop her and ask her something. She's absolutely gracious. I adore her. Barbara Bird has taught me that you can stand on principle. Even if that costs you standing, you can stand on your principle. And the third person I'm going to do a shout out to is Daryl Connor. Right. So Daryl, Beth and I are, and I'm pretty sure it was the New England show when it was probably still held in Rhode Island. They moved that show around quite a bit. And Beth and I are teaching a pet first aid class, and it's our first class within the pet grooming industry. All right. So Beth and I are in the bar restaurant type thing, and we feel like the new kids at school, There's the cool kids over there, which included Daryl, okay? And we didn't really know anybody, and felt they were all so far above us. And Daryl comes over, she puts her arms around us, walks us over to the group, and I don't even know who they were. I don't even remember any of them. The only thing I remember is Daryl welcoming us into the industry. Again, that whole saying, you might not remember what somebody says, but you know how they made you feel. So that's been, like I said, it's been my core philosophy. All right. So let's talk about that, Denise.
Okay.
All right.
So yes, go ahead.
All right. So we're back from a trade show, and I just said, we're at every single trade show, come home, and it's a lot of the same.
Yes.
Okay. So I know you specifically wanted to start off first because this is healthy, wealthy, and wise, and I'm wise, and that's the third one. We were supposed to start off new topics with healthy, but that'll be next week because Denise wanted to discuss this. So let's discuss.
I mean, obviously, unless you're hiding under a rock, there's a lot of things going on in regards to ambassadors and companies and all the things, and just drama. And I think that's why I really wanted, when I was going through the list, I know I was trying to help Michelle pick one, but then when I saw this one on Mary's, it just reminds me of how our industry can be and how that spills over everywhere. And I don't know, choose kindness. So it really, just watching it breaks my heart. And I thought this was a really good one to start with, just coming off of So yeah, I too, I mean, I had my people. So I knew Mary. Well, Mary and I were always interconnected somehow. I don't know. We just were always drawn to each other. Michelle, most certainly, she knows that she was one of the people who I actually saw in the industry who stood up for things that weren't. And when I say stand up, education wise, like when you were doing your skin and coat stuff, that a lot of that wasn't normal because it's how it was done in the past. Really cool to see that. Chris Berry is another one of mine that really stood out because of just how she carried herself. And she was always so nice to me. She was like the first person I went up and talked to. And she was the first person who, when I heard her speak, I didn't think I was crazy because she had built what I was actually like sort of thinking about. Like I knew I didn't just want one location. So it was really cool. And I just think of all the people who have helped. Karina was huge in my, so that you guys were a part of my, not baby career, but you were part of me getting into the trade show world and learning and educating as far as an attendee goes. And it was very welcoming. Chris Christensen, that was our first class, was Barbara Bird and Chris Christensen. And then next was Michelle the next day. And it was just so amazing. But then getting into the realm that I'm in now and that we're all in, the educating side, the vendor side, the ins and outs of the back end of everything. Carino is huge in helping me. I just found out I was going to speak for Barkley at Hershey, and it was PetQuest, and the world was opening up. I had a vendor booth, first time for the Ohio organization. And once again, same thing like with Mary and I, we just sort of connected, and I had told her, and she's so funny. She doesn't remember the story, and she's like, "You'll be fine." And she's like, "I can't believe I gave you that advice." I'm like, but it was the best advice ever because I was so nervous about like knowing I was going to speak at Hershey and that I wanted to pick her brain, and just her even saying that, just so matter of the fact and like confident, and it gave me the confidence. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be fine." So many kind people have helped me in this part of the industry, like going forward. And it really breaks my heart when I see us just bickering and tearing each other down and anonymously. And it's heartbreaking. Because, yeah.
So, yeah, the whole anonymous stuff is ridiculous, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually why my profile is public because it really keeps me on point. What I'm posting, everybody and their mother can read.
Yeah.
Small group of people I've blocked, okay? Which predominantly are family, right? So whenever I'm saying something, this is why does it matter? Why does it matter what I'm saying? Right? And I don't think what we mean is not to be nicey and letting things slide or things like that. That's actually not leaving the industry better.
No.
Leaving the industry better is holding people accountable for their actions, right? And being respectful of other people.
I know that I got so much pushback when I started. When I was repping for ISB with the distributorship before the one that has it now, I thought it was great that I got my article in Groomer to Groomer. Like it astounded me. And they had printed the whole thing because it was extensive and it was on allergies. But even when I started speaking, I got so many sneers and so many, well, that sounds stupid. Nobody cares about skin. And I'm like, oh my God, because it was like my life's work. It's like, that doesn't matter. But I'm like, I know it does because I've been all over the country and I've absolutely seen the dogs that are coming through regular grooming salons. And I thought if I could just teach a couple of people, then they can teach others and it'll spread. And a handful of people were welcoming. And I started getting people coming up and crying because they felt like they were doing it the wrong way. I'm like, there is no wrong way. If you don't know, you don't know. I'm
Mhm.
exploring this still. I'm researching this still. I'm not the end all and be all of skin and coat. But absolutely, I think this is a section of the pet industry that has been overlooked for so many years. Barbara Bird was instrumental. Just her delve into ingredients themselves make my work more possible. If anything, I mean, I talk about her all the time. Without her exploring that, it would have never taken me as far as I've come. And there have been so many people, I cannot even name them, that have helped me, that I have modeled in my life. And I just feel that there are so many people just like me who are afraid to talk in public, who are afraid to state their purpose. I was just a baby groomer at one time, just like everybody else. And I know how I'm just stubborn, but not everybody is stubborn like me. And I realize that we are all very creative, delicate souls. And it's so easy to convince someone who's not sure of themselves that they need to keep going and to believe in themselves. And I think that's what we're lacking today. Somehow there's been some sort of a breakdown that the new people coming up and get jeered at and talked down. Or if somebody even achieves greatness, they get talked about. And I'm like, you know what? So what? Who cares? They achieved greatness. Good for them. Applause. All those things. I see so many people. We need groomers more than ever in this country. We need more of them. And we are so small compared to all the work that's to be done. There should not be one person left behind. There should be not one person. And I see so many times, well, so she's only a bather. I don't want to take the time to teach her. Take the time. You won't be her entire education, but you can be steps along the way. And I think that's really important to support these people that are coming up, support the colleagues that you have, and make sure that they're well and that their self-esteem is boosted, because we're all on a wing and a prayer sometimes. We're making it all up as we go. So it's not all the time, oh, well, she's the expert or he's the expert or whatever. We're experts up to a point. And then we're human behind all that expertise. We're human, and we give a crap if somebody says something bad or, just completely ignores what it is that we teach. All those pieces are important. Every single one. How we handle animals is a huge one that probably needs to be addressed directly in a big way. How pets are handled, how we share and commune with them while we're grooming them, I think is one of the most important things that we can do. And there's so many salons who've been caught with their pants down, hurting an animal, mistreating an animal, killing an animal, that it's ridiculous. We should all be banded together and learning together. The people who don't belong in the industry are people who don't love animals. If you don't love them, I just don't see how it's going to work. You have to have that level of compassion towards them because they're completely helpless and they're in your care. So I think there's several things that need to be talked about more.
Well, what's really nice is that from the time I started in the industry to now, the range of classes has greatly improved. And that comes back to those initial speakers who opened up their mouth to say something about something that wasn't sitting right with them. Mm-hmm. And many of them were ridiculed. Oh my God, let's go the Wayback Machine to the grooming forums.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
I was never a part of them. I know of them. I was never a part of them.
Oh, so
madness.
Yeah, it was brutal. You think groups like Pro Groomer, when they get started, nothing compared to what the forums were, because a lot of that was you were hiding behind a moniker. Mm-hmm. And I can remember, and when Barbara Bird and Chris Pearson, so Barbara Bird was, I think it was B Bird on the Pet Groomers, and Chris Pearson was Windy Way Cavaliers, I think that was her name. Mm-hmm. And they got up on their soapboxes to talk about holistic grooming. And when I would tell you that they were ridiculed, They were absolutely ridiculed, but they stood their ground. Okay.
Mhm.
So that people like me, all right, can actually now teach a program on it and have 2 books. All
Mhm.
right. It's much more accepted in the industry today, but somebody has to be that trailblazer.
Yeah.
hmm And
So,
and I always try to at the shows, like that's where I speak from. And even when I know I've used Mary's words against her of leaving the industry better than we found it.
yes, you did. There was a decision that had to be made,
I used it against her.
and she used
But
it. But Denise, you were correct. You were absolutely correct. It's something that I had to do, whether or not I wanted to do it or not. I had to do it, and that was the end of that. Um, and also, a lot of times too, I will go back to um, when I'm on the. A lot of times, I'm on the fence about something. I'll go, "What would Daryl do?" Daryl Connor.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay.
mhm.
And I'm thinking, would Daryl Connor do this? Or she would not do this. And Jennifer's got a really nice comment about you, Michelle. And then you, Michelle, came out educating and emphasizing the science in the skin and coat and changed the lives of people like me. You were that person for me. You changed my life. Thank you. So,
Oh, JBJ, look at her go.
so, but the whole, and again, with Barbara Bird with her, was it Beyond the Suds book?
hmm
Took that class at probably Hershey. Okay. And I can remember in my very baby groomer self taking my knowledge, going down to the floor, all right, to have a conversation with a shampoo manufacturer, all right. And my husband was with me. And so I'm looking, but there's no ingredients listed here. I don't, and the guy turns to me and he goes, and this is a direct quote: "Don't worry your pretty little head over what's in the bottle."
Mhm.
My husband goes, "I'm going to go wait in the parking lot."
Mhm. Let's get away from this mess before it touches me
Not
anyway.
literally that.
Mhm.
I've never bought their products ever.
I mean, and I have to say, I will use your mantra. Like when we were in Atlanta and like having the first time having a Snatch booth and all the things, and like it's the first time I've ever worked anything. Yes, there's the Pet Size Relief Fund, but that's a little bit different. This is a product. People are coming up, and just hearing how many new people were there, I was like giving them high fives. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Go walk around, do your list, come back with, blah, blah, blah. But I want to uplift people. That's where I come from speaking too. That's where every time I'm like, leaving the industry better than we found it. And, helping business owners not feel alone and all those things. So I do.
Oh.
Oh.
There you
I lost. There we go. So I do use, as much as I use your mantra against you, I do also use it for myself as well to help guide make hard choices, because no matter where you're at in the industry, and I hate when people come up to the table, I'm just a groomer, or I had a person, and she may watch this, I don't know, come up to me over the weekend, which was really cool. I went to go see Melissa and Jess speak in Fort Wayne, and I had a few people who recognized me, which was really cool. But then like I was talking to one person and they're like, well, I just have 3 groomers. I'm like, stop it. I'm like, it's not just have 3 groomers. You have 3 groomers. She's like, but I'm not as large as you. I'm like, it doesn't matter. You have 3 groomers. That's huge. So I always hate when people say that, and like just helping them through that. But yeah, I just want to be that person and make those choices based off of that. So just I hate when people say, I'm just this, I'm just a bather, I'm just starting out. No, it's not just a bather. It's not all those things. So I use it as my moral compass too, because no matter where you're at in this industry, you're going to have choices. You're going to have a lot of different
my favorite line, choices.
choices. And you're not going to know which direction to go. And if you base it off of this, leaving the industry better than we found it, it will help you at those crossroads, because there's going to be a lot of them.
I do want to shout out to Jennifer Bishop Jenkins also. She is a dear friend and colleague of mine. And she has helped me, and I have helped her in so many different ways. They're unnameable. She is a wonderful colleague, and she will lead with that as well. Oh, I've only done this 6 years, blah, blah. And I'm like,
Oh, she
yeah,
is, yes.
right. She also does.
She does.
Yes. And every dog, every paw you've trimmed, it counts. It counts.
It does.
Okay, so anything else we want to add to leaving the industry? I'm going to put that on a T-shirt.
Right.
Yes.
Make sure that when you teach or when you talk or when you ask questions, you are bettering the industry. You are absolutely contributing your opinion, your techniques. All of that matters. Even if some people don't use your techniques, it doesn't matter. The idea is out there because some people will benefit from that.
Well,
Always. And no matter what you teach and no matter how much you do, just realize that you're creating a foundation for the future. I expect my students to absolutely take what they've learned from me and make it better and research it. And, the things will change. Science will change. But at least they have the foundation to move forward.
So Beth and I did the 3 days of pet first aid classes at Atlanta. And we always welcome other pet tech instructors in to audit the class because a lot of them don't see classes that size. So it's a good experience for them. But we had somebody who helped us out all 3 days. His name was Orland Ruiz, and brand new speaker. And when I tell you that I picked up some information from him, okay? There's always information to be had, and I don't care how long you're speaking, or I've been teaching Pet First Aid for over 20 years. So, I could say, well, I know everything, and I'm going to tell you I don't know everything, all right? Because new products come out all the time, new knowledge comes out all the time, and if you have something that you think I should know, please tell me because I may not know it. I do want to know it.
Right.
So.
We always learn. So even I never get to actually watch education, being at the shows. And if you're speaking or a vendor or whatever, it's really hard to actually go see. And it never fails. One of the reasons why of course, I wanted to go hang out with Melissa and Jess for a little bit and see them because they're West Coast and I don't get to see them. Well, Melissa I'll see every week for 3 weeks in a row. And then 2 weeks later, I'll see her. So I'm seeing her a ton this year.
Well, let her take you to an Ethiopian restaurant.
I know, right? So, but when I was sitting there, I still grabbed nuggets. Like I actually went to be educated. I wanted to hear. I knew that I could learn. I've never seen Jess Rona and I are always speaking at the same time. I never get to see her stuff. So it was really cool. Jess, there were some, I write down quotes that I absolutely adored that I've never heard, like as far as with social media and doing things. And she, does the hard things and the things she's afraid of because she knows that she wants what's on the other side of that fear. Mm-hmm. And I love that. And I'm like, I needed to hear that. Or with Melissa, I pulled a lot of stuff from her, even just, she made reference to her friend in the audience and it was cool. I'm like, that's me. And it made me realize that even just little small things that I don't notice get noticed and that it does matter. So it was, we can always learn and we can always find little things no matter what in that.
Well, and I also think as educators, it's also important for us to continue our education, however we do. Trade shows are difficult. There are classes that I would love to take, absolutely love to take. And I can't because I'm teaching. All right. So that means I look for education outside of the actual trade show. All right. What's offered locally to me. I do a lot of online education. A couple of my favorite things. Number one is Masterclass. I love Masterclass.
I like that one a lot. Yes.
So it's like $200 for the year. And what I love about Masterclass, especially for those who might be ADHD, is that all of the lessons are anywhere between like 10 and 15 minutes. So I could, most of us can focus for 10 to 15 minutes. Okay.
I'm barely hanging on.
One that I like is called Great Courses. That one was a little over $100 a year, and it's more like a college setup. All of the lessons are about half hour, which is honestly at the end of my sitting at a computer and listening thing. I could do longer at an in person. If I'm sitting at a computer, half hour chunks is really good.
Agreed. Yeah.
And there's so many things. I mean, I just took my first college class. I have not taken a college class in probably 40 years. And I just took my first college class. So
that's cool. I do Evie Pampura's. I joined hers, Beyond Bulletproof, because it goes through a lot of how humans work, and that's what I love, because I love learning how to interact with my employees and clients and stuff like that. So I find that one really helpful. I'm part of her membership. So,
all right. So as we are going to wrap up, any parting messages, Michelle, Denise?
Don't be sour grapes. Love your colleagues. Love your colleagues for what they do. Try not to punch them in the throat.
Yeah. That's a tall order there, Michelle.
I know saying. It is. And you know what? You may not even like them as a person, but respect their teaching. Respect what they're contributing. Because all in all, I ask people all the time, I said, hey, you remember that one girl that was really good with horses? And they're like, no, who? I'm like, exactly. But they'll remember you for your teaching. Mm-hmm. For your teaching, you know? It's a legacy that you leave behind. It's a legacy of kindness and education. So even if they irritate you for whatever reason, you know, love them up. Don't talk bad about anybody behind their back. If you have an actual issue with someone, say it to their face. Get it cleared up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, shut up and move on, you know?
Yep.
All right. So upcoming. So the next show, Buffalo is this weekend, right? Papalooza?
Correct. Yep, so, Papalooza.
So Denise will be at Papalooza. And coming up right around then is going to be the Pacific Northwest Grooming Conference. Okay.
Yes.
So Denise and I will be there. 16 hours of non-competing workshops, so you don't have to pick and choose. And Denise, did I tell you we're starting off the day with singing bowl meditations?
No, that sounds fun, considering I'll have a time change and I'll be getting in. It'll be late for me, but early for you, and it'll be a thing. Yeah. I'm excited.
He's going to need a mat.
Yes. I will need it.
I'm going to be in my same time zone. It's going to be a beautiful thing. I've just gotten used to East Coast time, and then I got to head home to Pacific time. So, okay, whatever. So then after that is the Tacoma show. I don't think any of us are going to be there. And what's after Tacoma?
St. Louis, because I'll be there.
Okay.
And then Inner Groom. Okay. I know that there's more in there. That's just the ones that I know of that I'll be at. I know like there's Virginia Beach and there's a few other things that are trickled in there as well. And then Inner Groom, and then Pet Pro. Yeah. Right.
We'll be all three of us will be at Pet Pro Classic.
Yeah, and I think right before that.
What's before?
I won't be there.
RW Groom X.
Oh yes.
Kentucky will be at the end of May on Memorial Weekend, I guess. And then June 6th to the 9th-ish, 8th to the 9th-ish will be Classic.
Okay. You know, and even though I'm not actively grooming anymore, I still bought stuff at Groomed. just saying. All right. So we will see it again. We are going live every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. So whatever that is. This is the fourth Tuesday of the month, correct? So we'll see you at the second Tuesday of what's the next month? Oh, this is bad. April.
Why do you say dates? I can't remember that.
Okay, so thank you for watching. We'll see everybody, I guess, in and around 2 weeks.